Hello everyone and welcome to my build for the Stamina NIGHTBLADE. This is for the Horns of the Reach patch. I really don't enjoy Stamina in general. I think Stamina is extremely easy to play, but I have been requested to make the build, and so I have made the build. Since it's a build, you know. And I know the stats are really good on this. It should play very, very good. Very easy to play, to be quite honest with you. So for anyone who wants a nice, simple cut down build, there's not much farming needed for this. It's got extremely high stats with little work and some of the best survivability in game. I mean, you're set to go, really. So this is the Stam NIGHTBLADE build. I'm going to be quite efficient here. Our first set, and this can actually be two possible sets, they'll nearly give you identical stats, is Shackle Breaker. We are using 5 pieces of that with a heavy and a light sash. The other way you can play this is 5 Bone Pirate. It will give you so close to the same stats, I can't even put words to it. What we'll do if we go with Bone Pirate, because we lose that magic recovery, is we'll run a magical regen glyph instead of a stamina regen glyph on our other set. We're going to lose about 2k magicka. We're going to lose a bit of weapon damage. We're going to gain a lot of stamina. We're going to gain a bit of overall sustain. So it's very, very close between the two sets when you make the right changes. But yeah, it's just so close that it's not even worth mentioning. We're then running 1 Doma House. This is just too good a set bonus to not take. Now, if you did want to run a proc, there's so many options to do that. It's not skillful to run something like Celine's. It's the simplest set in the game. But if you want to run that, again, there's so many ways you can adapt that. You could 1-bar Bone Pirate, for example, if you wanted to run a proc. That's just an example. There's other ways of doing it. Okay, so that's the more obvious set. The next set we're using, and you do not have to get this in gold jewelry, obviously, is the Cinch set. And this is on our back bar on the bow. So this gives us stamina recovery, weapon crit, max stamina. And then it says, when you use a roll dodge, your weapon damage is increased by 430 and your weapon crit increased by 657 for 5 seconds. The weapon crit, I mean, it's fairly irrelevant. It's less than a 1-piece crit bonus, but the weapon damage is very, very tasty. That's a huge chunk of weapon damage. It doesn't stack on itself, but 430 weapon damage for a back barrable set, you do not have to have this double barred, is very, very, very high. I mean, that's a lot of weapon damage. That's like 2/3 of Alchemist on a set that's completely stamina based. It's a really good set. And 100% uptime, honestly, because your stamina NIGHTBLADE, you're going to roll dodge on 6 seconds. So yeah, you're going to get that almost all the time. Our front bar then is the Maelstrom 2-hander. I'm using a Nirnhone Battle Axe. The best here, in my opinion, would be a Nirnhone Sword or a Nirnhone Maul. Pretty close between two. I think the Maul is slightly better damage. And the Sword is going to be better against Sorks. But yeah, for the most part, Axe is not the perfect one, but it is Nirnhone. I really like Nirnhone, especially on a Stamblade. Stamblade lacks healing tremendously. Stamblade healing sucks. So if you can get enough weapon damage, and Nirnhone helps with that, you can get very reliable heals, and thus your build is a lot stronger. So I like that on the front bar, that trait. And I am actually running the double damage poison there as well. You could run anything there if you wanted. You could run any poison you like. You could just run crit charge and run the glyph on there, but double damage is generally better. You could run concussion. There's so many options available for that poison that you could run. The back bar bow is then infused on the Cinch, and that is to amplify our weapon and spell damage glyphs. That's going to give us way, way, way more damage on the burst potential. It's huge burst damage, 452 for 5 seconds. And because infused halves the glyph time, you can keep that up 100% of the time as well. So realistically, all of your glyphs and all of your buffs are up the whole fight. I'll show you the sort of damage we get from that in a second. On our armor, we are then running everything in stamina glyphs. I don't have any triglyphs. You could definitely get away with putting some triglyphs on. It's going to lower your damage a bit, and it's going to up your survivability a lot. It's entirely up to you depending how you find your damage. I've gone all stamina for the time being. Honestly, I still mix and match. It's up to you. I then run a 2 impen at the moment and 5 well fitted for maximum roll dodge cost. But I'm running a fair bit in CP to lower the crit damage. That does the job. On the jewelry glyphs, we're running stamina recovery, weapon damage. You could probably get away with a stamina recovery last, but again, your damage is so high that I kind of like the extra damage here. It's very, very good. So, our stats. Now, note this is all currently unbuffed. I'll show you this buffed. Oh, my food is down as well. That would also help. Put that on top. Otherwise, our stats look like total shit. There we go, there's our stats. So, we are 21.5k health. Again, you could try glyph that up to 25k, give or take if you really wanted. 14k magicka, really big magic pool to play with there. 38.5k stamina. which is solid. Crit resist is 1.6k. In my opinion, that's more than enough. You're roll dodging almost everything. I'm not going to lie, the lag has got increasingly worse in Elder Scrolls, and sometimes shit will just hit you randomly through a dodge, and that could be a bit annoying. So if you do want more, you can definitely swap out another crit resist piece for a well-fitted, but each to their own on that. There's a lot of preference comes into that. Our stamina recovery then is very, very high. We are 3,000 on stamina recovery. It's up to you whether you go for Vampire or Werewolf here. So I'm currently playing Vamp. I generally find that I don't get hit much in this build, to be honest with you. So I find that Vamp is fine, even with the fire damage. Nothing really connects with you. So you've got so much rollability with that stam regen, you can avoid it. If you want to run Werewolf, what you do is put the Werewolf ulti on your back bar. You'll save yourself the fire damage. You'll lose some Mag Sustain. And the Mag Sustain is our lowest point here. It's the only slight weak point, which is 887 on the front bar and 951 on the back bar. Reason being, we use Barrier on the back bar for the passive 10% from Alliance War. It's not a big chunk, but there's no other ulti that really suits that back bar, and it is a fair bit of extra regen to get for free. So, weapon damage obviously looks fairly low, though our stamina is huge, 38.4k. The reason that looks low, obviously, is we have the Cinch set giving us the damage. So, what happens is when I roll dodge, and I cast my mage... Oh, fuck. I'm going to roll dodge, cast my Major Brutality. We're then sitting on 3.6k before the glyph, and we're going to keep that up almost the whole fight. With the glyph, we are hitting about 4.2k spell damage fully buffed and 38k stamina. So you can imagine this build hits seriously, seriously hard damage. And because of that, has really good heals. A quick talk about the magic recovery. So although the magic recovery is quite low, some people would argue you don't need it on stamina. That's not true at all. If you're running anything less than the stamina pool that I've got with this Magicka Sustain, it doesn't matter what other stats you've got. Your build is not good. You need more Magicka Sustain than that realistically. The reason you get away with it in this build is with the Doma House and Shackle Breaker, our base magic pool is very, very high, 14k. So we can get away with doing, for example, the key combo of Image, Cloak, Gap Closer, Fear, which is going to take almost all of your stamina. If your regen is low, you're not going to get anywhere there, but our regen is good, so we are going to get somewhere. As I said, I'm a Vamp. I'm using, at the moment, Dubious Cameron food. The other way to play this is to go with gold food, of course, if you want that magical regen. You're going to lose a lot of damage to do that, though, so I think if you really want the regen, you're better off just changing a glyph or whatever, but I can't see you needing more magical regen with this max Magicka pool. If your max Magicka was any less than this, you definitely need more regen to play this properly. I mean, you can talk about it all you like, it's not going to survive. Our Mundus is a Serpent. Again, adjust that as you like. If you don't like the Serpent, you could go Warrior, you could go Tower, you could go anything you like. I like going Serpent. I think having a high stamina regen is really, really important on a Stam Blade. It makes a huge difference open world because you have to roll dodge. As soon as you're not roll dodging, you're history, basically. You're too squishy a target. Last but not least is our CP, I believe. No, skills. Skills. I don't know why I didn't say skills. Though, to be honest, I'm just going to rock it through this. It's the same as any generic Stam Blade build. Almost no difference in stamina. And it's true for almost every stamina class. Ambush is our gap closer. It's also going to empower our ulti from Cloak. We are then using Surprise Attack. We've got a huge buffed tooltip on this. This is without Glyph. Our tooltip is sitting on over 11k, 11.2k. So very, very high tooltip there. Rally, of course, for the heal and Major Brutality. Relentless for the 8% damage buff. Fear for ACC. Obviously, you need that. And it's a really nice AoE to get people off you. Incap for our execute, kill of any kind. Again, the tooltip on that is just enormous, to be honest, in this build. So if I roll dodge again without Glyph, our tooltip on the Incap is nearly 18k. That's fucked. Shadow Image is going to be there for kiteability. We're going to need that also for Mine and Maim on any single target fight, especially against Sorks. Just generally speaking, a good Sork really outmatches a Stam Blade this patch, in my opinion. Depends on the own, but whatever. Then we're running Poison Injections. This is a substantial dot and execute. This does leave you some negotiation room if you wanted to change that for an execute on the front bar. It is kind of viable, but I think, again, if you do that, you really are just... It's really nice build against anything apart from a Sork, but if you meet a Sork, I think you're going to struggle to kill a good Sork in a setup like that, because they're just going to be able to shield through without a dot on them, and I think that that's a little difficult to contend with. Vigor, obviously, for the heal over time, really important that you keep that up most of the fight. You've got the regen to do so. It's going to make you way, way, way tankier, and you're going to need that. Shuffle, obviously, for major evasion, but more importantly, to remove the snares, so you can actually move anywhere. And then we use the crit morph of Cloak to actually get our survivability and general movability. Like I said, ulti at the back bar is barrier. Let me quickly show you this passive. It doesn't matter whether you morph it or anything. It's literally just to proc this passive here. Increase your magic recovery by 10% for each support skill slotted. So it does what you would do with a werewolf, basically. If you were a werewolf, you put werewolf here, except your front bar regen's lower, your back bar regen's slightly higher, and that will do all that. But again, I think your magical regen ends up a little too low then. So it's up to you. It's definitely viable to do it. It's just not for me. Last but not least then, CP. Now this is one of the very few classes where I stack CP fairly hard in certain trees. Most classes I spread it around quite a bit, as you would have seen in previous builds. Stoneblade, I think you can get away with stacking it pretty hard. I think that there's very, very few things that really matter. It's such a simplistic class to play. So yeah, 44 in Warlord to reduce break free. That's saving you a huge amount of stamina. It scales very, very well. 6 in Sprinter. We do run a fair bit as a Stoneblade, just around line of sights and that stuff with Shuffle. So you want to put a few in there. I wouldn't suggest stacking it too high. I think your base regen scales much better. 76 in Mooncalf. So it's a lot of points, but our regen is so high that even putting like 13 points in or whatever to get 1% more, it's giving me more regen and more overall sustain than almost any other tree. So it's actually a really nice tree. You could move points into Tenacity, you could move them into Sprinting, you could move them into anywhere else, Magic Recovery, whatever. But I think honestly they suit in Mooncalf too well. So I still stack fairly hard into here. And you do need 76 to reach any scaling point there. 37 in Arcanist for the magic recovery, of course. 1 in Befal for our in-cap, just because we have a point to spare. And 56 in Tumbling to lower that roll dodge as much as possible, because you're going to dodge a lot. In the blue tree, very easy to get these spare points. So we bang them in Blessed. Then we have 66 in Master Arms for direct damage. That's for pretty much everything. 66 Precise for crits. 64 in Mighty for base damage. 4 in Piercing for penetration. It's not going to matter. Even in heavy armor, this build just shreds straight through it. And then 13 in Fermenters just for injection, the Axe Bleed, and the poison. So works pretty good there. Finally, the red tree, 42, stacking pretty hard in crit resist. Again, you could run more impen if you so wish. Up to you. If you find your stamina sustain is good, go for it for sure. 56 in Ironclad to reduce our direct damage taken. Counters the Master at Arms. 48 in Fixed Skinned for dot damage reduction. 37, 37, 48, a real go-to at the moment for me in most classes, sometimes 40 as well, but this tree looks almost the same. Reason you go 48 over 40 compared to my other setups is to get the Lady passive up to this one here, 120 in Unchained. When you break free, the cost of your next down ability is within 5 seconds is reduced by 80 seconds. So 3 skills you want to cast there. Number 1 is going to be your Shuffle, that's your most expensive. Number 2 is Rally, and number 3 is your Vigor. Those are your 3 expensive skills, best to cast after CC break. Big save of stamina. And then none in there. So yeah, that is the build. Very, very easy to play. I think the Stoneblade is, in my opinion, a pretty boring class. I find it fairly repetitive. I don't play it very much in my free time, but the build is good. It's the best stats I've seen out there. You could use any of my older builds. I've got builds out there, Bone Pirate, Agility, and Monster Set. I've got builds on there with Shadow Walker, you name it. A lot of ways to play it, but I think that generally your skill bar and all is going to look the same. So it's not a class that really excites me or anything, but if it is a class that does it for you, I can promise you good results in this build. And yeah, best of luck with the build and enjoy. There you go, guys. That's that build video done, so we can chill now.